just from a human nature standpoint, I've run businesses both as a sole proprietor and as a business owner now, and you get as much as you can get. You price like if you price something and then you find out the next day that you could have gone 20% up and people are happy to pay 20% up, bam, your prices just went up 20% because you're stupid if you don't. Let's keep reading. Fighting inflation. This is point number 2. Voter anger over inflation under the presidency of Joe Biden was a major factor in Trump's victory over former Vice President Kamala Harris. Doesn't that sound great? Former Vice President Kamala Harris?
Yeah.
It's the first time I read that. I feel pretty good reading that, Nima.
Yep.
Former Vice President Kamala Harris in November, and Trump said he would use the power of his office to bring it down. I will direct all members of my cabinet to marshal the vast powers at their disposal to defeat what was record inflation and rapidly bring down costs and prices, he said. As of December, the cost of living has increased 2.9% over 12 months, as measured by the Consumer Price Index, higher than pre-pandemic levels. So inflation is bad, is basically what this last paragraph is saying.
Well, it's
I'm curious how he's going to get this done.
No, it's saying it's actually much lower than at its peak, which was 2022.
Oh,
it peaked at 9.1%.
Nima, how do you think he's going to? I mean, you already mentioned one point, but I'll throw it over to you. How do you think Trump might get this done?
Well, that is the thing. Lifting all possible bans on oil drilling and gas drilling and pipelines. These are going to bring prices down of the most important commodity, right? So this commodity affects all prices all over the world. One of the main reasons of this recent inflation that we've seen over the past years has obviously been problems with acquiring this natural resource or routing it because of a certain war that started in a certain area and certain sanctions that people started imposing on each other. So, and the U.S. always has this thing, right? Democrats come in and they ban drilling in Anwar, and they ban the pipelines and try to ban drilling all over the place.
Ban pipelines unless they're in another country, Nima. Come on.
Yeah.
Remember, Joe Biden banned ours, but he approved the Russian one on day 2 or whatever his presidency.
They blew up the Nord Stream pipeline. So I mean,
details.
these are just these are just insane activists, not oil, experts or geological oil engineers or whatever. So yeah, I think oil prices can come down as a result of these things. And these are very important prices in the economy. And as this article that you're reading from just pointed out, inflation has already come down to 2.9%, which is pretty low. It's no inflationary pressures that I see at the moment, other than maybe if there's going to be some kind of ridiculous budget deficit, but that doesn't seem to be the case. There's more discussions of cutting spending, but then tax cuts. We'll have to see what comes from that. No, obviously, new war breaking out or new oil supply shocks, whatever, can change that all. But there's no inflationary pressures like we had 2 years or 3 years ago, where we had this massive deficit expansion. We had the people or
everybody paid to stay home from work.
People paid to stay home. Like basically, productivity came way down. Industry capacity utilization obviously came way down. With everyone staying home and just a few mega corporations supplying you everything. And then supply chain mucked up, and it became very difficult to plan ahead. And all these things were instrumental in the inflation, and obviously oil price, like I said. So these factors have all kind of gone away or leveled out, I would say. So there is this Trump trade going on. I've read this here and there in financial news.
Trump trade?
Yeah, the Trump trade. People expecting inflation to rise because of the tariffs, basically. And that's just a very one variable analysis of the whole situation, I think. I mean, that's also the reason why the long-term treasury yields have gone up so much, is because people think, oh, well, inflation is going to go up again. The Fed is going to actually start raising rates again. So the long-term, 30-year treasury went over 5% again. I think actually, as an investor, these are pretty attractive rates that I might take advantage of sooner than later. Because I don't think that rates will stay this high. I don't think inflation will be a big factor, and then there will be no justification to keep the rates at these levels, based on the Fed's ideology of, well, raising rates is to fight inflation, and lowering rates is to promote inflation.
Which we've done multiple shows debunking that left, right, and
Right.
center.
More like the
We don't need
opposite.
to do it again here now.
No, unless
Well,
somebody requests, unless somebody wants to hear us talk about the same damn thing over and over again.
they can. I mean, yeah, I know it's weird stuff if you're here new for the first time, but I don't think energy is the number one
Yeah,
place.
housing,
I
I
think it's
guess,
number
is
two.
another big one, right?
What's that?
Housing is another big
No,
factor,
I'm talking
right?
labor. I think labor is number
Sure.
one. And this is coming to you as a business owner who has a very labor intensive business, so maybe I'm a little biased. Um,
Yeah, service sector. So yeah, yeah,
yeah,
definitely more labor
but
costs.
once we get down to point number four here, deporting people, I wonder if there is a significant deportation, how that's going to affect labor prices.
Oh, what, this is such
Yeah, yeah,
bullshit.
oh, yeah. No, tell me, because I'm one of the big people that deal with it. So tell me why you don't think it's going to be a big deal.
Well, there I mean, resources in this country are underutilized. We have unemployment that's, I don't know, 4%, I think, or 4.5%. Um, and I've never heard the argument for immigration as an I mean, immigration as an inflation fighter. It's just such a pick and choose approach
Yeah,
of what arguments you accept for promoting your immigration policy. Of course, it sounds good. Okay, and I mean, there are some jobs, right, where people are paid less, and so then the price of the goods is maybe a little cheaper, but maybe it's more expensive to maintain an entire foreign labor force that you can't speak English with, and that you have to go through and duck, and hide, and be secretive about your employment. For big employers, it's not really an option, anyways. So
yeah.
I
I
don't
would never
really.
do it. I would never
Yeah,
employ
it's
an
crazy.
illegal
It's
immigrant.
dangerous.
Yeah,
So there are maybe some do it, but I don't see how that has this giant effect on bringing our prices down.
you mean up? Oh, you mean if you bring them in, how it would bring them down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Well,
mean,
on the flip
obviously,
side,
I do see the argument for the low wages and whatnot. But then, like I said, there's other unwritten costs or unspoken costs to this whole situation. There's also crime that goes up because a lot of people come. If
the El
immigration,
Salvador example.
well,
Yeah.
if a lot of people can come here from other countries, they can. It's a clean slate for a lot of people. They can leave their country where they're being persecuted. Sorry, not where they are supposed to be arrested for some crime they committed. So obviously, in that case, you want to leave and live in some different country where you can start with a clean slate,
Or take welfare, right? We all,
take
I mean,
welfare and all
it's
these
not a
things.
big secret that, I mean, particularly in these more blue states, I'm going to give Oregon for an example because my business is in Oregon and I get the, state updates and stuff. I mean, they're very, very clearly trying to push, we offer this service regardless of immigration status.
Look,
We offer this service we will not ask about immigration status when you're asking for, whatever public service. And so stopping that net drain. And then I also wonder, I'm contradicting myself. I'm playing devil's advocate with myself from what I just brought up. I also wonder, because you brought up housing before I brought up labor, if you take however many millions of people, I don't know, 10 million, 20 million, 30 million, does anybody know? If you just get rid of a million of them, how is that going to
so
affect housing?
by the way,
Because, yeah,
so like you said, a lot of people, there are stats on this. We can pull a lot of illegal immigrants are on welfare in this country. So you pay them to do nothing, and they get to rent and live in apartments that would have been available otherwise. This is not a hypothetical issue. This is a very well-known issue, for example, in the UK and other European countries, where their real estate is being filled up with illegal immigrants or asylum seekers who we don't know what's going to happen with them down the road. Um, So there's an inflationary effect of having these people here. Yeah, there are also those who work and bring wages down, but they're only ever picking and choosing one particular side of this argument. There's also, I was just gonna say, um, welfare payments in general give people money to do nothing and creates consumer product demand without a corresponding consumer product supply rising. That's inflationary, by the way. Have you ever heard a Democrat argue to you, oh, we shouldn't do welfare payments because they could be inflationary?
Yeah, back to the picking and choosing.
They care so much about
Jesus,
inflation suddenly, right?
speaking of Hispanics, is it Jesus or Jesus? I know we asked before. I can't remember. I'm gonna call you Jesus because it's funny right now. Jesus comments. Actually, I think I can bring these comments up. Boom! Look at this.
Oh,
Look how
nice.
fancy this is. Current
Whoa.
inflation has more to do with corporations being able to raise prices because they can. That's why you hear about corporate record profits.
Current inflation has more to do with corporations being able to raise prices.
Because because they
I mean,
can.
yeah, that's
I actually believe that to a certain extent.
well, by definition, inflation is caused by corporations raising prices. But so that's like a um, by definition that's true.
Yeah, but I understand the point
Now,
that he's making.
yeah, yeah. So he's saying because of
Yeah,
pricing power, which there are companies who do have pricing power. It's the objective, by the way, according to MMT capitalist theory, it's the objective of any capitalist entity, any capitalist corporation trying to maximize its profit, is to maneuver all the resources they have so they can attain pricing power, which gives them uh, the ability to charge and maintain a certain price, because that price then determines the revenue they make in the future. It determines how much they be able to borrow, how much collateral of revenue stream they have to borrow more, to expand more, invest more, blah blah blah.
well, and then I'll even say this just from a human nature standpoint. I've run businesses both as a sole proprietor and as a business owner now, and you get as much as you can get. You price like if you price something and then you find out the next day that you could have gone 20% up and people are happy to pay 20% up, bam, your prices just went up 20% because you're stupid if you don't. Like,
Yeah,
if people are willing to pay me that much, why wouldn't I do it for that much?
I mean, so I'm just saying.
Yeah,
So, but so what he's saying, current inflation is more to do with corporations being able to raise price because they can, and that's just a fact of the market. Corporations can raise prices, and if they can, they will raise prices.
right.
Now, what he maybe one implication that some people walk away with, well, then we need price controls. We should stop them from raising prices. That creates other potential problems that, based on certain obviously neoliberal economic theories
Sure.
that may or may not hold some merit. But one of the things that classical economics suggests can happen is that then you cap your product supply below the optimum level. So you disencourage corporations to produce because you're doing price controls. And otherwise, they'd be producing more products.
Well,
Um,
and then also the libertarian slash ANCAP
because-
answer to this, which I think I agree with, is well, take the regulations out so competitors will come up going, hey, I'll do it for half that,
yeah,
right? So, because I remember during the first Trump presidency, the idea was get rid of 2 regulations for every new one that you create, and then Biden was immediately like, "Oh, put them all back," right? So again, maybe just having the idea of let's allow people to do business
yeah,
will help the prices come down just from competitors going, "Okay, I'll take that money for 10% less." Sure.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Here's Jesus said basically what I just said. Yes, price control, or better yet, create a system to design for competition. Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna move on unless you got something more to add to that.
Yeah, I mean, I want to recognize that maybe there are some situations where the regulatory framework has created corporations that enjoy enormously excessive pricing power, and to impose price controls on them, maybe that is fine. It'll just be fine because they're a monopoly supplier of one
Product.
commodity.
Maybe we should do price controls on. Sorry to interrupt you. on pharmaceuticals, on
Yeah,
vaccines.
right.
Sorry to derail. Please continue.
No, I mean definitely price controls. I mean, it's ideally so that they just stop producing shit. So it just could go away and stop selling us pills and all that crap. Um, and there's something else I was just thinking of that escaped my head right now. You said price controls on. Oh, I
I'll give
forgot.
you 5 seconds to remember before I read on. How about that?
Not yeah, too much pressure.
Okay. Point number three. We're on number three out of the four economic points, apparently from Trump's inaugural address. Trump said promoting oil drilling. We actually touched on this. Trump said reducing energy costs was key to fighting inflation. Prices for gasoline, natural gas, and electricity are major factors in household budgets, as well as a measure of inflation such as the CPI.
And
Trump said
corporate
he would.
budget.
That's exactly what I was going to say, too. Trump said he would issue executive orders to promote domestic oil production and reverse Biden policies promoting green energy and electric cars. Today,
Yeah.
I will also declare a national energy emergency. We will drill, baby, drill.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So, but like, I hope that there is a plan in place to do legislative action this time, because this is something that Trump did last time around. Signed a bunch of executive orders, and they feel good. It's a quick fix, and then next asshole comes in and reverses all those
That's what I was
executive.
saying with the office of executive president at the beginning. Yes.
Right. That would be a strategic approach to tackling that for sure.
Well, and I mean, like you just mentioned, or let me pull the article back up. The article focused on uh, household budgets, major factors in household budgets, like the utility bill. That's such a small component of what energy prices do.
Well,
Like,
also the pump, the price you pay at the pump, right? The money you
yeah, I
pay.
was I was including that in like your household budget, but like I'm thinking more how much natural gas is needed to operate this factory that
Right,
produces the thing that you pay to get gas to go to you put gas in your car to go to the store to buy.
right. Yeah.
Right, or the Amazon truck that delivers it to you are now paying 169 a gallon instead of 369 a gallon. How does that affect pricing for everything?
Yeah.
Right?
And by the way, with AI, just saying good luck to companies like Germany who have effectively destroyed their energy supply sources and capacity to generate cheap energy, because in this AI revolution that's happening, and if you want to compete in this industry, access to energy will be paramount. Forget about how important access to energy is right now. When we get to a world with way more AI data centers all over the place than we have now, way more AI in business use and in personal use. Good luck competing in that world. One of the biggest competitive factors to succeed in AI will be cheap energy supply, more than in any other industry ever in the past, I think. And also crypto mining, obviously. Those two will be going hand in hand.
Yeah. Well, and just going back to the energy in particular, the green energy thing, right? Reverse Biden's policies promoting green energy. Like, are we past the point yet as a civilization where we could stop pretending green energy is green? Right.
I
I
think,
mean, this is still the whole goddamn. Oh, the CO2 is causing the Earth
but
to
it's
heat up, and so we need to stop the CO. Like, we're still making policies based on that.
But look, for example, the DEI has been a huge flop this past year. All kinds of companies are exiting the DEI initiatives, are exiting this DEI designation in publicly traded or in mutual fund classifications. Um, Starbucks has just announced they're slashing a bunch of staff. I think some of it might also be DEI related. So there's a good news already, right, on this front, and there's probably going to be more down over the next
So
couple
you're
of
saying
months.
hopefully this starts to bleed over into this CO2 is bad
Well, yeah,
uh,
so green energy
environmental
is that's
idea.
So green energy is like not a DEI, but what was the other acronym? CS, no, social governance,
ESG.
ESG, right,
Yes.
right. So that's also kind of gone. I think. I mean, I'm not. I don't think
It's
like.
not gone. I think it's fighting.
Yeah,
It's
but
not
like
gone yet,
for
but it's
example,
fighting. Yes.
Wells Fargo just exited some conglomeration of climate virtue signalers, and tons of companies have exited. The exact names escape me right now, but I just read an article about that. That whole thing is just imploding slowly but surely. And so the word green energy, I don't really think anyone really believes that it's actually
No, people
green. I
do.
hear
That's what
word.
I'm saying. Is
It's like
that like
it's become a pejorative almost. I would say.
yeah? Well,
It's like
in
you're,
that it, oil is the green energy because it creates the CO2 to make the fucking Earth green, right? I mean, it's just so dumb. And I understand you're
yeah.
not like if you actually want to get change done, you can't battle the noble lie. But at the same time, we've got to keep putting information out about like, okay, here's reality, and this is the lie. That these policies aren't green. So yeah, I
Right.
wonder how much getting away from in quotes the green energy policy is going to affect inflation.
And oil isn't going away, so I think it's not, a lot of these people operate on this assumption that oil will be gone sooner than later, anyways, and so it'll be irrelevant because of peak oil and all these
Peak oil
theories.
that happened in the 1970s, but
Yeah,
never
which
actually happened
the
yet.
exact opposite is happening empirically. Or the oil supplies are growing more and more every decade. When the geologists do their surveys, more and more and more. That if there's one consistent pattern, that's what it is. And then there's this biogenic origin of oil theory, which suggests that it's not from fossil fuels, but actually from organic material, and the Earth keeps producing it. So
However the Earth produces it, I believe that the Earth does produce it because I think the fossil fuel theory doesn't. Not that it doesn't hold water; it doesn't hold oil.
right, so yeah, so so that given the fact that there's constantly going to be oil everywhere all the time, like even if people start phasing it out somewhere, let's say hypothetically we can do a market game theory exercise, people start phasing out oil, then it's going to become incredibly plentiful for everyone else. There's going to be a point where it's going to be so cheap to ramp its usage up again, so it'll always be competitive to some extent. So I don't think there's such a thing as this oil is going away. It's gonna be probably supplanted by some way more nuclear is probably coming over the
Yeah,
next year.
I think nuclear is going to be the key as long as you don't build on a damn fault line.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't put
So,
it
but
here.
this
Don't
is
put it in
already
Japan.
happening.
Yeah.
Microsoft has signed a 10-year contract with Constellation Energy Corporation to supply their data center from 3 Mile Island, apparently. Several other big AI, big data companies working on similar projects. There's going to be small modular and medium sized modular and large, not so modular nuclear reactors just prevalent all over the place down the road, I think. There might be
Steven, did you
some.
ever play Fallout?
Yeah, I did. The
Did-
first one, I think, or
oh,
two.
just the first. Oh, you didn't play any of the 3D ones?
No, no, no. I played
Oh,
the 2D.
sorry for the distraction. So obviously in Fallout everything is nuclear, right? Because it
Yeah.
was the atomic era when this happened, and there's cars all over the place, the old rundown cars, and if you blow up a car, it turns into a mini mushroom cloud. Because it was nuclear powered. It's so funny. And I just thought of that when you were like, oh, there's going to be all these modular nuclear reactors everywhere. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, no, I mean,
these little
I,
mini Fallout nuclear
I hope we're not going to be
mushroom
putting
clouds.
nuclear reactors in cars because that could be an exciting car accident.
Everyone, please like, comment, and subscribe to help us grow this channel. I think we cover a lot of good stuff. We're covering ideas that you're not hearing anywhere else. Economic ideas, historical ideas, systematic politics ideas you're not hearing anywhere else.